Rather, it's because I believe your testimony, that's why an accomplice must exist. So, you still won't admit that your reasoning is wrong? Up until now, we had not even considered the possibility of an accomplice. However, if there had been an accomplice, it changes the entire story completely. If the accomplice took the murdered auction guest's place, then the number of people remains 11. Ooh, I see now. So that's what you're thinking. Well, you know, wouldn't that have been quickly discovered? Miss Jensen and the victim had similar physiques. If she wore the victim's mask, she could have easily taken her place. Miss Jensen, did you switch places with the victim? I wouldn't. Who was the conductor? In other words, tell me who was the true culprit. I can't. I mean, that would also cause trouble for Granny. Ouch. But Granny, I will accept whatever wrongs you may have done. Just tell me everything. Jesus Christ. Oh, hair popped. Oh, that was good. As I thought, it appears you really were the accomplice. Why? Miss Jensen, would you please tell us? Yes. It's okay, Granny. I'm fine now. I switched places with the victim, Miss Crane. So, you admit to being the conductor's accomplice? Yes. I helped out the conductor. I don't really know why, but for some reason, the conductor was expecting to be attacked by Miss Crane. The conductor expected an attack from the victim. They were so sure it was going to happen that they came up with a plan to counter it. A way to beat the victim at her own game, and that's when I was called in. I was told to wait in the storeroom before the auction began. Whoa there, you ain't fooling my eyes. If you were waiting in the storeroom, I reckon I would have bumped into you. After all, I'd been up in that storeroom the entire auction. I'm telling the truth. I wonder about that, you know. Can we really believe a girl who would falsify a report? I think she's telling the truth. There should have been many places to hide in that storeroom. Then by all means, tell me, where did our little nurse hide? The place in the storeroom where Miss Jensen hid was the trunk, where the body was hidden too. She hid inside the costume trunk. A costume trunk, eh? Now that you mention it, that box was already there before I snuck in. I figured I would hide in there myself, but it was wrapped up nice and tight with a chain. It was locked too, so I had to give it up. I suspect that when you sneaked into the room, Miss Jensen was already inside the trunk. Yes, it would have been bad if one of the guests from the auction had opened the lid. After instructing me to hide inside, the conductor wrapped a chain around the costume trunk. I think they went downstairs using the lift shortly thereafter. It was right before the auction. So then, when the auction began, only you and Miss Hart were in the storeroom. Yes, that should be right. The auction had been going on as usual, but when a certain participant made the winning bid, the conductor committed the crime. Miss Hart must have heard the altercation that occurred then. You betcha. I was trailing behind that there statue the whole time though. Following the altercation, Jill Crane was murdered. After killing Jill Crane, the conductor carried her body to the costume trunk. And Miss Jensen, who had been hiding in the trunk, was made to take Miss Crane's place. The victim's body was placed inside the costume trunk. The conductor then took Miss Jensen, who had been made to look like Jill Crane, and went back down, and returned to the auction hall as if nothing had happened. Ah, the old switcheroo. Was this roughly what happened in the storeroom during the incident? Yes, that's right. Pulling the old switcheroo with one of the auction guests. Ain't that impossible? That gal and the murder victim are two completely different people, you know? Don't you reckon one of the other participants would have noticed and caused a ruckus, not because of the mask and voice changes? No, not at all. The reason they didn't notice the switch was because Oh, there. She stole the victim's clothes. From what I can tell, Miss Jensen and the victim appeared to have a similar physique. Furthermore, there was a rule requiring a mask to be worn during the auction. If the clothes were the same, I doubt anyone would have noticed she was a different person. Yes, I blended right in. I borrowed Miss Crane's clothes and... ouch! You mustn't embarrass the dead like that. I know. I also thought it was pretty heartless to leave her exposed like that. So when the conductor wasn't looking, I covered her up in a raincoat that was up for auction. So she was the one who put the red raincoat on the victim. And then the auction resumed as if nothing had happened. I reckon I took the picture of her in the red raincoat after that. That'd make all the facts line up. After I took the photo, I went over to the lift to sneak a peek down below. I witnessed the 11 participants, and then I hightailed it back to behind the statue. Bum bum bum. Don't tell me, you were hiding there the entire time until we found you. Nah, that's... how should I put it? What is it? Did something happen? I didn't mention it before, but after that I might have dozed off a little. To be more precise, I fainted? Well, something like that. So, something did happen. It ain't no big deal. Kinda embarrassing to say though. There was this huge thump sound all of a sudden. I was a little surprised by that. It was right after I had just witnessed a murder, so I was shaking in my boots. My heart sort of tightened up, so I was off to La La Land. When I woke up, it was already the next day, around the time you came by the storeroom. I see, so there was a large sound. Miss Hart, I take it you do not know what transpired in the storeroom beyond this point. I guess. But after the auction, all the masks were properly returned. I reckon the participants had exited the storeroom, just like I done said. Miss Jensen, what were your actions after the auction resumed? I took the victim's place and participated in the auction. The conductor instructed me to win the bid for the costume trunk, because the body was inside it. It would have been bad if another auction guest had won the bid for it. You didn't realise the box was empty? No, we only found out when I came up to the storeroom to pay the bill. The conductor was with me... oh, pardon me. And told me to go search for her immediately. And then, I found another girl collapse in front of the ladder. That'd be Kay. Kay. Yeah, she probably fell down from the roof and lost consciousness, as well as her memories. Maybe the victim left the hatch open when she went up to the rooftop. I understand now. Kay was surprised at seeing the collapsed victim and did not notice the open hatch. She must have missed her footing and fell down into the storeroom. Miss Hart, I have determined the sound that made you faint. It was likely the sound of Kay falling onto the storeroom floor. That might have been it, though I reckon it'd be kind of pathetic to faint over something like that. When Miss Jensen found the unconscious Kay, Miss Hart was also unconscious behind the statue. The situation is becoming clearer to me. Miss Jensen, please continue your story. After I found Kay and the victim, I put them both in the trunk. If the customers at the auction found out, there would have been a huge commotion. Was this an order from the conductor as well? Yes, it was. But since I secretly decided to put the raincoat on Miss Crane, I had to dispose of the raincoat without the conductor noticing. Huh. So the conductor didn't anticipate the raincoat becoming another piece of evidence. And finally, we dressed Miss Crane in a spare conductor's outfit. I see, in doing so, you made the victim appear as if she was the conductor. In the end, the auction ended without anyone noticing anything. Miss Jensen, your crimes have become clear. If you know anything else, please hold nothing back. I want to help you more, but that is all I know. If I had to say, there is just one thing that bothers me. When I took Miss Crane's place, I borrowed her clothes. But there was no way for me to borrow her hair. Ouch. What kind of coroner's assistant goes around stealing a corpse's hair? I would think that robbing the deceased of their clothes would be questionable enough. Both the colour and the length of our hair is different, so I was worried about how to disguise it. However, the conductor even had a wig prepared for me. In fact, he had two of them. Inside the costume trunk there was both a straight wig and a wavy wig. 2 wigs. Why were there 2? Who knows? Maybe it was a precaution, in case the victim had changed her hairstyle. I ended up using the straight wig to match Miss Gray's hair. So that means the wavy wig was left unused. Right, okay. Kay's testimony on when she switched places with the victim. Cool. Is that really all you know? Yes. Yep, that's really all I know. So that means you don't know who the conductor is. I'm sorry, I only knew that person as the auction conductor. I never saw the person without a mask on. The conductor seemed to be on guard, towards everybody. At this rate... Edgeworth, is that all you've got? Even if that little nurse is an accomplice, it changes absolutely nothing, you know? In the end, the true culprit is still Kay Faraday. All you did was add another criminal, you know? The rule of law cannot be overturned, at least not for your sake. Is this as far as I go? Am I unable to save Kay? Objection! Franziska! Yeah! Nice. Franziska, why are you here? Didn't I tell you, Miles Edgeworth? Wherever there is a case, I will follow. Prosecutor von Karma, your hard work is most appreciated. However, don't get the wrong idea, I only came here to find out the truth behind what's happening to Kay Faraday. Or behind what happened. I don't plan on forgiving you for abandoning the prosecutor's path. Hey, name of the game. I understand. You should thank your former subordinate. He gave me some valuable information, which may save Kay Faraday. Detective Gumshoe did? Listen well, Miles Edgeworth. This will be the final piece of evidence. Jill Crane suffered the wound on her head first. Oh. We know that. Well, someone say something. Well, I hate to say it, but we already proved that. Already proved? Yes, well, just a few minutes ago. You should have told me sooner. You're the one who barged in here and started talking. Well then, does that mean you found out what the murder weapon was already? No, not yet. Is that so? In that case, listen up. The victim was struck on the head with a blunt, cylindrical object. Oh, the wound on her head was suffered post-mortem. On her chest, not head. A cylindrical murder weapon. You know, this report of yours, I trust it's accurate, of course. These were the results of 2 independent autopsies, carried out by 2 respected doctors. That's reassuring, but it's too bad. You have no right to investigate this Interpol is after the black market auctions, and I'm the prosecutor in charge of the investigation. The victim participated in the auction. Therefore, it is only natural for me to investigate. Get on, bitch. Oh shit, something she'd been murdered. Whatever, I didn't get to read it. I see. Clever. Clever girl, little Von Karma. Ah. Then it has been settled. The victim died from blunt force trauma to the head. Cause of death, blunt force trauma to the head. Chest wound was post-mortem. There we go. Unfortunately, the murder weapon has yet to be found. Just knowing the shape of the murder weapon. Oops. I should probably read that again because I had the mic kind of away from my mouth. Just knowing the shape of the murder weapon gives me an idea as to what it might be. Hey, in my investigation we didn't find any other murder weapons, you know? If you consider the conductor's possessions and the crime scene, the answer should be clear. The blunt cylindrical object used in the auction hall was... Oh, an auction gavel. I nearly said a judge's. It was something the conductor had in their hand during the auction. Namely, an auction gavel. An auction gavel? We didn't find anything like that. If the culprit is the conductor, it is possible that the gavel may be the murder weapon. However, that alone is not reason enough, wouldn't you agree? Of course, I have proof to back it up. This piece of evidence proves that the murder weapon is the auction gavel. Lauder's testimony. According to Miss Hart's testimony, after the victim had been murdered, It seems she suddenly stopped hearing the sound of the gavel during the auction. However, she had been able to hear it up until then. Why was that, you ask? It was because it had been used as the murder weapon, and was covered in the victim's blood. It became necessary to dispose of it, isn't that right? Blazed the best. I'll have a search for the murder weapon performed immediately. Well, good luck with that, you know. You gotta work as hard as you can while you're young, you see. He's completely confident that we won't find it. Did he burn it? Well then, while the search for the murder weapon continues, I hereby call for a brief recess. Oh my god, that took forever. Fucking Jesus, that was like 2 fucking hours! Like 2 fucking hours! I'm completing this case, I don't care how long it takes. I really can't imagine it taking too much longer, but still. Fuck me, 2 fucking hours! 2 hours! Oh, god, right, okay, yeah. Jesus. That was such a long part. It was probably more like an hour and 40 minutes, but even still, that was ridiculous. Whew. PIC meeting room. Opened... or order in the court. Opened in the court. What am I on about? Prosecutor von Karma, your report, please. I have bad news. We've searched every inch of the Grand Tower, but the auction gavel was nowhere to be found. Oh. That is most unfortunate. It seems I am left with no choice but to pronounce a verdict. Well, it sure seems that way, you know. Normally, you wouldn't commit a blunder like leaving behind the murder weapon, you know. The best criminals would never do something like that, you see. I don't have enough information. Is this as far as I can go? Yes, it's a shame, you know, but it can't be helped, you see? This takes me back, you know. All those defendants who came to me asking for a plea bargain. They trusted me, you know, told me every one of their dirty little secrets, you see. And when it came time for the trial, I'd get them sentenced to life in prison. They were all completely dumbstruck, you know. Each and every one of them. Oh, how I wish you all could have seen it, you know? The stupid look on their faces. God, what a dick. I shall hereby announce my verdict. Please humbly accept the words of the law. There's nothing more I can do. With this, both Kay and I are... If only we had some evidence. I never thought that I would be passing judgment on you like this. Is this the end? The defendant blazed the best. I hereby indict you. What? What? Oh! What's going into you all of a sudden? I have here documents regarding a certain case. The IS-7 incident. A case that happened 18 years ago. Documents, you say? Why would you suddenly... Wait, you don't mean... On the day of the crime, the record of your keycard being used was because... I came to this room to fetch these documents, of course. Although, when I entered the meeting room, it seems it was before the black market auction had begun. At first I told you that I came to gather in documents about you, Prosecutor Edgeworth. At that time, I simply could not tell you the truth. Oh, shit! Wait, the IS-7 incident, I don't remember that. What are you doing, Justine? Why are you indicting Pops? Because he's the culprit. I just want to see what the IS-7 incident is. I don't remember. Wait. Oh, it's that! Wait, why is that? I don't get it. Oh no, it can't be. The only thing I was thinking is that I saw there are no clues as to the whereabouts of Dover's son. Dover or Gustavia, actually. Did the best give himself a new name? Oh. Interesting. That is interesting. Okay. Alright, so the IS-7 incident is last case, essentially. Okay. Without any basis. This is slander. That was a wonderful remark, Sebastian. Huh? Really? Of course there is a basis. During the case 18 years ago, Prosecutor Manfred von Karma fabricated information regarding the body. That was because the body of the sculptor, Isaac Dover, had been stolen. Papa fabricated information about a body? What do you mean? Detective Lacer, who handled the initial investigation, reported that the body had gone missing. However, in order to deceive the prosecutor von Karma, there is a person who purposely did not report to him that the body had disappeared. What? What did you say? That person would not forgive those who defied him, nor would he allow others to hold power. He would use any means necessary in order to bend others to his will. And then, also 18 years ago, Director Young was ordered by a certain individual to write a fake autopsy report. Oh. Dr. Young was the one who wrote the autopsy report for the IS-7 incident? Fucking, what the heck is happening? It's all tying together. Please wait, Granny didn't do anything wrong. She was ordered by that person. She had no choice but to obey. That person was the chief prosecutor at the time. That's... okay, of course, I forgot about him. For some reason I thought it was his son. I'm an idiot. Yes, he was the chief prosecutor. That didn't even occur to me. Because wasn't von Karma and the chief prosecutor in cahoots? Sort of. The chief prosecutor 18 years ago. You don't mean the chief prosecutor who gave Papa his first penalty. Oh. The best. It was none other than you, Blaze the Best. Okay. God, I feel like a fucking idiot. He's Dover's son! I don't know why the fuck I thought that. Ah, God. Even if he was Dover's son, that wouldn't make him this... Like, Blaze is probably in his 50s, so there's no way that'd even work. I'm just talking out my ass. What are you saying? Potts would never do something like that. Oh man, she's on our side now. Sebastian, we do not need your opinion right now. Blaze the Best, do you have a rebuttal? Fabricating stuff about the body von Karma. Oh, about the body, von Karma did all that on his own, you know? Falsifying the autopsy report. Young, you would actually do something like that? Man, you really did some terrible things behind my back, you know? Seeing as how all the parties concerned are here today, we should ask them directly. Please wait, Granny is... ouch. Granny, I'm sorry, I knew, that's why I... Yep, because if I didn't... He said he would expose you. If I didn't assist in the crime, Granny would be prosecuted. That's what that man said, the conductor. Told me. In which case we now know who the conductor is. So, Miss Jensen, was being threatened... Was the conductor who threatened you Blaze the Best? That... I don't know. The person who threatened me was the auction conductor. They do have similar physiques, but I never saw the person's face. Any trivial thing is fine. Give us a characteristic that could be a clue. That's right. The conductor's mask. It exposed just a tiny part of his face. There was a tattoo there, I'm sure of it. The conductor wore a white jacket with a purple flower, white gloves, and a mask had a facial tattoo. That's not Blaze. A tattoo, you say? Objection. I really have no idea what you're talking about, you know? As you can see, there are clearly no tattoos on my face, you see? So that person doesn't match me at all, you know? The person who threatened her, this so-called conductor, I wonder who it is, you know? I think we know it's him, regardless. You've incurred the wrath of the Goddess of Law. I suggest you watch what you say. Hasn't he incurred your own wrath rather than the wrath of the Goddess of Law? Oh, the wrath of the Goddess. Jewel Crane had been pursuing you, just as I have. And I will not let her death be in vain. Crane was... you know. You say she was pursuing me? My, I didn't really know her that well, you know? I don't mind girls chasing after me, you know? but I don't recall her ever falling for me, you see? Oh dear. You didn't know the victim well. That is a testimony we haven't heard up until now. Before the eyes of the Goddess of Law, you shall give us an official testimony. I see, I see. Everyone is bullying me. If you're gonna go that far, that's fine. That's fine, you see. I'll just have to make you disappear. Every last one of you. Prosecutor Edgeworth, I shall cooperate with you as well. Nice. If we let this opportunity slip by, I doubt we will ever get him to stand in court again. Please, do not let this chance go to waste. Yes. Let's do this. I promise I will live up to your expectations. Oh man, so this was just her way of getting to blaze, essentially. Now then, Place the Best, you shall testify regarding the victim. Regarding Jill Crane. The victim, Jill Crane, was a member of the Prosecutorial Investigation Committee, you see? Personally, I didn't really know her that well, you know? Either way, it's not like I had a motive to murder her, you know? I have no idea why she was pursuing me, you see? That was a short testimony. You intend to deny your guilt until the bitter end, don't you? Of course he does. There's no way Pops could be the criminal. I mean, he's my Pops, you know? He's the very best, like no one ever was. To catch them is his real test, to train them is his cause. Sorry, wrong game. Yes, Sebastian, if you're gonna stick up for me, be sure to have a clear basis, you know? Alright, I got it. I'll clear you of these false accusations, Pops. I believe in you, Pops. We won't lose to someone like Mr. Edgeworth. Yes. You really are pure, you know? That person. He really loves his father, doesn't he? However, one must be able to accept the mistakes of their father. She speaks from experience. No matter how much they may look up to him. Ooh, look at that! Each person must atone for their crimes, no matter who they are. This is going to be hard for Sebastian, but I simply cannot overlook his father's crimes. As you bloody shouldn't. Regarding Jill Crane... Alright, just press everything. Bum 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 bum. I need a drink, although this is not helping, because I really need the toilet, but I want to finish this case. I just have to grin and bear it. If she was a member of the PIC, then you should have been familiar with her. Well, I knew her face, but that's about it, you know? It's not like we met each other on a regular basis, you see. Personally, I didn't really know her that well, you know? So you're saying you weren't very familiar with the victim? That's right. I didn't even know about the burn mark on Crane's hand, you see? You didn't know about the burn mark? Well, you see, even if I had gotten close to her, she would have disappeared soon. It's a pain to remember someone, you know? When they're just gonna disappear, you see? In other words, anyone who defies him disappears. I'd like you to add your statement about the victim's burn to your testimony. Really just learned that she had a burn mark on her hand? Alright. So you're saying that you didn't know about the victim's burn? Is that really the truth? You really are persistent, you know? Do you really think I would pay attention to every little wound on a woman's hand? I would think the burn mark on the victim's hand would be hard to miss. Now that you mention it, Jill Crane would regularly wear gloves. I too did not know about the burn until the incident occurred. Jill Crane regularly wore gloves. Oh! I thought so. She was probably trying to hide the burn mark, you see. I understand how sensitive a woman can be about these things, you know. I would like you to add your so-called sensitive understanding of a woman to your testimony. Maybe she was always wearing gloves in order to hide the burn mark, you know? But if you didn't know she had a burn mark, then why does this stuffed toy clearly say that she does? Oh, I don't want to listen to it again. I was hoping it would just give me like a transcript, even. Yeah, because in the recording it said you can't hide that burn mark from me. Jill Crane regularly wore gloves. If that is true, then it creates a huge contradiction. Oh, a huge contradiction, you say? I would like you to listen to the voices recorded on this stuffed animal one more time. God, do we have to? Buzz, and, I knew who you were right away. You can't hide that burn from me. Silence, huh? I've been waiting for my chance to get revenge all this time. There we go. We were under the impression that this was the moment the victim was murdered. I knew who you were right away. You can't hide that burn from me. We thought that this statement was said by the culprit. Isn't that fine? What's the problem, you know? There's a huge problem with that. If the victim had been wearing gloves from the start, it would have been impossible to see the burn on her hand. Gloves come off very easily, you know? She could have taken them off during the auction. Look at the face Edgeworth had, that looked really weird. That's... Courtney? Oh, that's not true. Miss Crane had been wearing her gloves when I took her place. She must have been wearing them before she was murdered. What are you saying? Don't you understand the position you're in? I'm not scared anymore. I have Granny here with me. Blaze, your day of reckoning has finally come. So it is him. I mean, I kind of gathered. Somehow, it seems like you